Support WrestleTalk!
Visit WrestleTalk.com. Ember Moon debuts! No Way Jose debuts! The authors of Pain and Paul Ellering debut, who then break up with Paul Ellering. Bobby Lashley returns! Samoa Joe returns! Jeff Hardy returns! Paige announces her retirement from WWE, and Nicholas relinquishes his Raw Tag Team Championship. I'm Ollie Davis. Click the I above my head to vote for what you thought of the show as I review 2018's Raw after WrestleMania in about 4 minutes. Looks like I'm talking fast again. Stephenie McMahon opened the show by gingerly walking down to the ring, cradling her arm in a sling. That rhymes. And finally modelling herself on her father's character, who got his comeuppance on a regular basis, Steph got her receipt for the second time in just 24 hours. Which still leaves 198 receipts outstanding. Take those to my accountant. But it's a start. Rowdy Ronda Rousey came out to a huge babyface reaction, and after being fake friendly with McMahon, locked in the armbar on Steph's already injured limb, possibly writing her off TV. The camera then specially cut to the announcers, where Corey Graves explains the Raw after WrestleMania has a wacky crowd, and sometimes they cheer who they usually boo, and boo who they usually cheer, which actually only applies to one guy, Roman Reigns, as the crowd gave the appropriate kayfabe response to everyone else, like chanting "You deserve it" to Nia Jax, who was still wearing the previous night's outfit. Who wears the same costume 2 days in a row? She was to face Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in a tag match, but who would be her partner? Cue former NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon for the first main roster call-up of the night, who looked great in the ring and quickly pinned Bliss. But even with Ember's achievements in NXT, she'd have to take second place in the crowd's heart to Nicholas, WWE's most over new talent. Sadly, him and Braun Strowman had to relinquish their freshly won Raw Tag Team Championships to Kurt Angle because of a scheduling conflict. Nicholas still has to go to school, and multiple child labor laws. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, however, is reporting it's actually because Nicholas refused to put anyone over, had a fight with Vince McMahon backstage, and will be making the jump to UFC imminently. Kurt then announced to the bar that there will be a tag team eliminator, don't say tournament, to decide the new champs, which the Revival were the first to advance in by beating Galanderson. For everyone lamenting the burial of Raw's tag division at Mania, that part of the roster has been lifeless for months. In retrospect, Braun and Nicholas's comedy win is actually a rather effective way to fully kill it off and then rebuild it by injecting it with fresh acts, chiefly the Woken team of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and former NXT Tag Team Champions, the authors of Pain, who debuted strong, squashing Heath Slater and Rhino. Sadly, and rather oddly, Akam and Razor walked away from their longtime manager Paul Ellering at the end, begging the question, why even debut with him in the first place? Then Adam Rose returned. Wait, that's wrong. Then No Way Jose was also called up from NXT, partying his way down to the ring and squashing a jobber. Jeff Hardy returned from 6 months out with injury in the Intercontinental title picture, setting up a 6-man tag with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins against the Miztourage for the night's main event. The crowd was very hard for the new IC champ here, chanting "Burn it down" for Seth. Sadly, the chant never turned into "Ooh, King Slayer." Sasha Banks and Bayley's very uninteresting feud remained uninteresting, but it was just a lazy way to transition into the next segment. Paige announcing her retirement from WWE because of neck injuries. It was a somber moment for someone so young, and she made it sound like she'd be leaving WWE completely. Following the loudest "Walk with Elias" chant ever, and then the crowd chanting "We deserve that" when Elias called them scumbags, Bobby Lashley made his WWE return after a decade away, hitting an impressive-looking delayed suplex on the Drifter. Then Roman Reigns came out to whine about his main event loss the previous night, passive-aggressively hinting Vince McMahon has a conspiracy against him, as he had to learn about his upcoming steel cage match against Brock Lesnar on the internet. I know what you mean, Roman. I hate it when WWE make huge announcements on their website at the expense of memorable on-screen angles. This brought out a returning Samoa Joe who cut a fantastic promo, calling out Reigns for continually making excuses, which is exactly what Reigns was doing. It's hard to root for Roman as a babyface, matches, when the badass heel has a point, legitimately pointing out his failures. Joe finished by announcing he's facing Reigns at Backlash. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn showed up in Kurt Angle's weird office room thingy in suits to ask for jobs. Kurt replied with a mega burn, saying the tag division is full, but apparently TNA are hiring. Angle booked them both in a match where the winner would get to join the Raw roster, but it ended in a double countout after a very good match. Neither man will be signed to Raw, but next week is the Superstar Shake-Up to 205 Live! After a cute backstage skit where Jeff Hardy ran into Woken Matt and Bray, Balor, Rollins and Hardy had a house show main event beating the Miztourage, complete with the babyfaces hitting all their finishers on the heels, probably meaning Miz is off the SmackDown next week. A very fun and newsworthy show full of call-ups, returns, the tag division rebuild, Sami and KO turning up and Paige's retirement, but ultimately one with very little substance, as next week's Superstar Shake-Up prevented any major storyline work being done, as no one knows which brand they'll be on come Monday. The 2018 Raw after WrestleMania is core. Mine and Luke's full hour and a half plus review of WrestleMania is now live. Click the video to the left to watch that and more great stuff. I've been Ollie Davis and that was wrestling.